Alright fellas, let's talk about a short piece of cord that could be in your pocket at all times. Something that looks like this. Now, it's kind of a quick deploy type of thing. You don't have to have a loop here. What we just know is that it comes out of the bottom and it goes back and forth. So if you kind of grab it like one of these and start pulling, quickly deploys until you just have a couple of curls at the end. And you end up with a usable piece of cord. Well, that might be, I don't know, 8 or 10 feet long. When you go to wrap this up, it's pretty simple. This one happened to have a loop at one end. So what I'll do is I like to pinch it right in that crease. This rope is a little slippery. Now this, I do have a loop in one end. It's not necessary, but the idea is that you want it to have a little bit of length there. So if you grab it right there and then bring it around your thumb and then your pinky. At this point, there's enough friction that it holds itself. And criss-cross, criss-cross. You just keep crisscrossing. Now, one of the things that they never ever tell you is that you don't overlap yourself. You always line them up. Line it up. Crisscross. Line it up. Line it up. Line it up. Give yourself a good length. When you're done, pull your fingers out. Now, another thing that a lot of people won't tell you is, see how it splays out? It's at a V. That means that this loop right here is shorter than this loop right here. So that when you go to deploy this and you pull on this tag end, you're pulling on this first one. And it pulls out and then an X and then an X and X. Because each one is a little shorter than the previous, they won't tangle on themselves. Same thing with the crisscross, you won't end up with turns in the middle of this. At the end, you will, but in the middle, you won't. So we still have that. We have a nice little tag end. Here's the thing. I'll pull my hand out and immediately grab it so it doesn't come apart. You don't want to go twisting this back and forth too much. Now, we're going to take this big long tag end. I'm going to wrap it. And here's the trick that nobody ever tells you. See how I'm going to wrap over top of myself the first run. And then it won't go anywhere. After you wrap over top of yourself, not a big deal. You wrap the rest of it. The idea is that you need to get at that far end as quickly as possible. I don't really care how wide these are right now. I'm trying to get that end secure and this end secure. When I get to this end, don't go past all these loops. And look, I went right over top of myself again. And that locks in that end. Now, whatever tail you got left, you can fill in these big loose things until you're all wrapped up. Now, with a little bit of a tail, I'll put my thumb in the way, do a wrap around. When I pull my thumb out of there, it makes a little loop. And I'll just tuck it right in, which is a simple overhand knot. I tied a knot. Oh no. This slides right in your pocket. Pocket your jacket, your vest, in your bag, whatever. When you need, I don't know, 10 feet of cord to tie something down in the truck, you got a 6-foot truck bed, you bought a 10-foot piece of lumber. And you stick it down in the bed, and the part that sticks up on this end, you tip a wrap, and down to one tie down, and down another tie down. About a 10-foot piece of cord is all you need. All you're fighting is a little bit of wind and gravity. Just so you don't end up buying lumber and leaving it on the street. when it comes time to undo this, that's where that tag end comes in. I like to grab that very last loop that goes around with my pinky so that as it pulls, you'll watch it come out of there. You might be able to watch it come out of there. And pull, pull, pull. When you get to the very tail end, you can start seeing the loops there. Oh no, it's a huge knot. No, not really. Just kind of give it a couple and it should come right out. Sometimes that overhand presents itself, but it's a simple little overhand. You didn't put any tension on, so it'll pop right off. And there you end up with 10 foot. Now, there's a lot of people that will say, oh no, I like to daisy chain. Oh, you see, if you daisy chain your cord, it's what you end up with is knot, 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 knot. And if this stores for any length of time through hot and cold, boy, it just turns that into lots of turns and twists that you might not want. So I'm going to give you the full speed here. Let me grab that. Criss and cross, criss and cross. Sometimes you can take that all the way to the very end. Oh, I ran out. Well, let's feed off a little bit. Myself, I like to start wrapping it, because you could wrap it from this end, you could wrap it from this end. I like to wrap it from this end so that hopefully I kind of finish up in the middle. Nothing on my hands. Pull that. And then just wrap. We try not to confuse all this too much. Keep it in pretty much the order that, and right there you can see shorter, longer. Doing this looking through the camera lens, which I never thought was going to be much of an issue, but it's real fun. Always learning with you guys, always learning with you guys. There you go. One little overhand in the middle. That's ready to go. I carry several of these. This one is, I don't know, 6 or 8, 10 feet long. I think you just saw some of this cord recently. This one I just got a knot tied on either end. I haven't fused the ends to keep them from going crazy. And what's kind of nice about this too is if you only need a couple feet, you can pull that tag end and pull a couple feet. That's all you need. Cut this, take this, throw it back in your pocket, wrap it up in a little bit, and you end up with something to tie up a parcel to send to your whatever. There you go, fellas. I'll wrap this one up one more time. Look, there's that overhand. Boy, that stuff was it's like paracord only. The cheat, there was a lot of Chinesium in there. Give it a little hold, little tag end, pull over. Instead of keeping your fingers together, make sure they keep splayed out, so that nice V shape. Now, if you got a big enough hand, 25, 30 feet of this is not too bad. Doing this with 100 foot of paracord, my hand's not big enough. If you had Andre the Giant or something. Right over top. Nice and tight. Not too tight, because you're still going to pull these loops through there. This, I think, has a whole lot of advantage in that this is a piece of cord that you can pull out of your pocket and use. And tie up a tripod, tie something down in the car or the truck or whatever you need a piece of cord for. We all know this stuff is invaluable. I have a real problem with people that will take paracord or cord or emergency cord and tie up all these special things that turn into emergency bracelets or an emergency braided belt or an emergency braided rifle sling or all this emergency stuff. The amount of work that it takes to untie that and use it, you're not going to. And the emergency braided bracelets that, that have like 5 foot of cord, the amount of work it takes to unplug to get 5 foot of cord. I have yet, throw it in the comments, maybe you have. I have not met anybody that's ever had one of those bracelets that took it apart and used the cord. Oh, it's for emergency. How about use the cord all the time, then you get really good with it. And then you can have a couple hanks like this, laying around and use it and get good with it. But if you have this thing that you're never going to undo, or a belt, I have a real problem with people that take their bootlaces apart. Well, now you can't walk around comfortably. Or I'll make a belt, and in case of emergency, I'll undo that. Well, you still need a belt. You needed a belt before. Now you don't have a belt. Oh, guys, tie up a hanker cord, throw it in your bag, throw it in your pocket of your hunting jacket, throw it in a console in the truck. It's really simple. And use it. Get good with it. Bungee cords and tie down and ratchet straps. Oh, they're great. Oh, you know what you see on the side of the highway? Broken bungee cords and broken ratchet straps. You never see a good piece of rope. Now this is a little tiny cord, but a good piece of rope. You never see that laying on the side of the highway. Think. Fellas, there it is. Carry a hank of cord. It'll do you well. Every day. Learn or teach. On a good day, you do both.